Hannah Schuessler presents a dramatic reading of a Wattpad original story.
A Path for Lily Thompson is a short story I initially wrote back in June of 2016 when I was entering into my junior year of high school. Yeah, I would have been entering into my junior year of high school. I'm gonna be honest. So this story, for a bit of a trigger warning, deals with mentions of suicide, mentions of bullying, mentions of depressive thoughts, stuff like that. So I kind of go back and forth a lot of why did I write this story in the first place? Because it's kind of sort of loosely inspired by my own personal experiences, but also kind of not, because similarly to Lily in this story, I was also bullied a little bit growing up, but it wasn't severe enough to the point where I considered ending my life or anything. But yeah, even though, again, this story was written 10 years ago now, it still wasn't my best work. It could use some rewriting, but I think the anti-bullying message is, yes, it's a little cliche, but I think it was so important. And also back at that time, I was consuming a lot of anti-bullying PSAs and content on social media and stuff, and I just felt really inspired by that as well to write this story, which, fun fact, I had originally written this story for Wattpad back in the day, a very long time ago, and yeah, it's one of my Wattpad original stories, if you can call it that. But yeah. Yeah, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but I just figured I would include a little author's note, if you will. Regardless, I hope you enjoy this story. One, two, three. Lily began counting the ceiling tiles over again for the third time while she lay in her hospital bed. She did this because she was bored and because she was tired of just laying around and doing nothing. While she waited for the doctor to get back, looking out the little window of her room, she could see her parents sitting on little benches that were placed just outside her hospital room. She could see that they were whispering to each other and talking in hushed voices, but she couldn't hear what they were saying. But she had a pretty good sense that just by seeing the serious and worried looks on their faces that they were having some sort of private conversation. She had a pretty good idea regarding what they were discussing. There was no doubt in her mind that they were discussing her, but now, in recent days, that wasn't much of a surprise to her. They were always worrying about her and constantly checking on her to make sure she was okay and everything. None of this was new to her. Today had been her third suicide attempt of the week, and no one could figure out why she had attempted suicide 3 times in 1 week or why she desperately wanted to end her life. Only she knew the real reason why, but she hadn't told anyone yet. When her parents had begun to question her about the weird way she was acting, she would always deny, saying things like, "I haven't been acting weird. Maybe you are just overreacting." All 3 of her suicide attempts had been failures. The third time she'd attempted, her mother had actually caught her lifting a knife up to her chest whilst in her bedroom. This was then when her mother had called her father, and before Lily knew it, she was being rushed off to the hospital. At first, Lily couldn't understand why, but then it became obvious. Her parents were worried about her, and they had wanted to make sure she was okay. Lily knew that now, and she didn't question her parents regardless of their decision. The doctor returned to Lily's hospital room a few moments later and had asked for her parents to come in. Now, seated in two of the chairs on the other side of the room were Lily's mom and dad. They sat there looking very serious and intent. The doctor stood near the front of Lily's bed, staring at her. His face at the moment remained expressionless. "Now, Lily, if you could please tell me what's going on," the doctor said flatly. Lily heaved a sigh from where she lay. Nervousness started flooding through her. A part of her wished that she didn't have to tell them what was going on with her and why she was acting the way she was. But she knew it was for the best. She took a deep breath in the hope of calming herself down. "Well," she began solidly, "I've only just recently began. The words attempting suicide felt foreign on her tongue. It was clear that she dreaded saying them. "Can you tell me why you began wanting to attempt suicide?" the doctor asked. Lily was hesitant. "I did it because... She hesitated again. "Because I've been feeling a lot of pressure lately, and I felt almost as though, like I'm not good enough." "Why do you feel this way?" the doctor asked, taking interest. Lily swallowed hard. "Well, I've been struggling with being bullied by two girls named Patrice and Annabelle, who've been saying really awful and nasty things to me and behind my back. The other day, they came up behind me, and Patrice knocked me to the ground, and Annabelle started laughing. Then she told me that I was unlovable, that people were embarrassed to be seen with me, and that I should go kill myself." As she said this, tears immediately began to spring into Lily's eyes. She was now fighting the urge to cry. "That explains why I've been doing this, why I attempted to commit suicide 3 times in 1 week." She was now trying her hardest not to sob. Before this, I hadn't wanted to end my life, never wanted to kill myself. Before this, I used to be happy, loved the thought of living and being alive. But now, that's all changed because of them," she said between sobs. From where they sat, both her parents' eyes had suddenly gone very wide. They stared at her in horror. It was clear that they hadn't known about this before, and were only finding out about it now. Although she was still very upset, Lily felt as though a huge weight had just been lifted from her shoulders. She was relieved that she had gotten that off her chest. Everyone in the room stared in silence, looking dazed. "Lily," her mother whispered softly, "Is all this true?" Lily nodded, her tear-stained face at her mother, and didn't say a word. "Oh, darling, if only we'd known sooner." Hearing this, Lily tried not to cry harder. "I'm sorry, Mom, I really am. I wish I hadn't kept this secret under wraps for so long. I'm so sorry." Lily's mom mustered a smile. "It's all right, Lil. At least we know. In fact, we know now that you need some serious help." Lily smiled at her mother. "Yes," she said smoothly, "I do." For the first time in a week, Lily felt a sense of happiness, of redemption. Her heart felt warm, hearing the kindness in her mother's words and voice. She knew her mother meant well, and she knew that her mother was trying to do what she felt was best for her. Lily felt that that was what she needed, what mattered to her. There wasn't a doubt in Lily's mind. 2 months later. "You're not alone, Lily. In fact, I don't blame you for feeling this way. I don't blame you at all," the therapist was saying to Lily as she sat in the large black armchair in his office. She seemed surprised by this statement because she said, "You do?" Her therapist laughed a little. "Yes, Lily, of course. In fact," he leaned forward in his chair a little, "I was bullied as a kid." Lily continued to look surprised. "But you're a therapist," she exclaimed. "You don't seem like the type of person who would normally be bullied." But I was bullied in my days as a kid, and quite often." "No?" "Yes." "Really?" The therapist gave Lily a long, hard look. "Lily, I believe that every kid in this world is bullied at least once in their life. So you're saying, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. You're not alone, Lily. I want you to believe that. He looked at her through his spectacles. Do you believe it? Lily chuckled slightly. I guess I do. Do you believe it? He said again. Yes, Lily answered. Then I want you to say it, he said. If you insist, Lily replied. She then took a deep breath. I am not alone, she said, boldly. Again, another sigh. I am not alone. A third time. I am not alone. The therapist smiled at Lily. Good, Lily. I see that we are making some excellent progress here. Now, if you can believe that and stick by it, I'm sure you'll really start to feel some truth to it. Lily smiled. Thank you, James. I really appreciate your advice. James, her therapist, smiled again. You are very welcome, Lily. I'm happy to help you whenever you need it. He looked at her once more. You may go now, Lily. With that, Lily got up from the armchair, smiled at James once more, waved goodbye, and walked out of his office. The smile spread wider on her face. She was glad for the time she got to spend with her therapist over the 2 months that she'd been going to him. He really helped her and gave her great advice about bullying. As for the girls that had been bullying her, when they found out about Lily being in the hospital shortly afterwards, they stopped bullying her completely. In fact, the three of them, Lily, Patrice, and Annabelle, were actually close friends now and spent a lot of their days doing things together. Overall, Lily was happy again. She no longer felt the need to want to end her life. Patrice and Annabelle apologized sincerely to Lily after she came back to school. Luckily for them, she accepted their sincere apology. Things were better now, officially. Lily was happy, and she knew she wasn't alone. She never really was. She just didn't realize it, but she did now. Lily was glad for that, and she finally started taking truth to her therapist's words. No one is ever alone in a situation like hers, and she knew that now too. She took the thought very close to her heart. In fact, she even had her own saying that she constantly repeated. I am Lily, and I am not alone. For a long time, Lily continued to live by that line. It was true, after all. Lily knew it best. She knew it was true, and she knew that she wasn't alone. I am Lily, and I am not alone.